I've been doing a little bit of work over the last week, obviously with more installation here on the block detection. I've actually had the trains running on this section of the layout, so that's coming through good. I've been checking the DTC2s to make sure they're working. I still haven't fully wired them in yet to the Arduino. That's a work in progress. Obviously the next section of layout I'm working on at the moment is the what I call the Dockland area, which is getting its block detection now set up again. There's quite a bit of wiring, rewiring going on under the layout just to improve it and to make sure I eliminate any potential noise from the track feeds with some of the electronics. Even though I'd never seen that in the past with the way I'd done it, it was certainly a mess underneath the baseboards. So I'm going to show you some trains running in a minute, and obviously then I'll show some of the wiring work going on under the baseboards, and hopefully this will lead to some more questions from some of the viewers. I'd just like to answer one of the questions I've received about the fact that I'm using mains cable. Now obviously in the UK we now use blue, brown and green and yellow for our mains cabling. I did a rewire of this house probably about 7 years ago, so we had a lot of cabling left over. I didn't want to waste it and go out and buy new cabling when I started building this layout. Now, one thing that's been picked up is I'm using blue and brown, which is going out to the track sections. Now, in my case, I just didn't want to waste the blue cabling, because obviously when I strip the cable, I get the blue and the brown. So, because it's only going from here to this small section on the layout, where I've got the next connection blocks, I was quite happy to use the blue and the brown, and it is all getting documented. But it is a good thing to take into mind. Obviously you don't want to get confused over what is 240 volts, which in my case is all below and totally segregated from any of the low voltage that runs the layout. So hopefully that's answered that question, and thank you again for raising that question. It's appreciated. So the wiring comes down under here, and then it goes into these terminal blocks here. So this is blocks 1 to 12, 13 to 24, and up to now I've wired these three, which go then down here. I've now got to then start looking at putting the spot detection units back into place. That's going to take a bit of a while because I'm relocating a lot of the things under here. So here's the underside of the baseboard. Now I've already removed a lot of the track feeds, so here you can see the way the cabling coming down. There was a lot more as well under this side of the board, so my plan is to run them from this chock block or terminal block and keeping all the track feeds running down this side of the layout. So here you can see some 12 volt and 5 volt power districts for, obviously these are the infrared detectors that I use. So that is going to be moved over to this side of the boards, and that will eliminate any chance of interference, I feel. Obviously I still have the servos under there. Now they'll get supplied 5 volts separately, because obviously motors can cause noise on the lines, so trying to keep things as best as I can. So there's quite a lot of work that's got to go on under here as well. So one of the issues I suffer with is a bad back through having to lift a motorbike up a couple of months ago, so I'm in a lot of pain. So working underneath the baseboards is quite painful at times, so I obviously had an old chair, so I thought let's remove the legs, so at least this supports my back and allows me to work for about 30 minutes under the layout at a time. So that was just a case of cutting the legs off and away we go.